Welcome to Data Project Hub. In today's video, we will solve a complex SQL interview question. First, let us go through the question. So, we are given a table, patient activity, with information about patient's daily activity and heart rate. Now, we have to write a query to identify patients who may be at high risk due to an elevated average heart rate and low physical activity. Now, below are the two conditions which are given so that we can identify who is a high risk patient. So the first condition is a high risk patient is defined as someone whose average heart rate over the past 7 days is above 100. Now the second condition is they also need to have taken fewer than 4000 steps per day on average over the same time period, that is with respect to previous 7 days, that is including the current day. Now we have to write a query to return the patient ID of the high risk patient that we can identify from the given patient activity table. So that is the question. Now let us go and see what is the schema of the table and what are the columns available. Now this is the sample input table which has got patient ID, on date, now steps and heart rate. Now patient ID is the unique identifier for each patient. So we can identify what is the record with respect to each patient. Now on date is the date of recorded activity. That is on that particular day how many steps that particular patient took and what is the heart rate of that particular patient on average. So that is on date. Now steps is the number of steps taken by that particular patient on that particular given date. Now we have a column which is the heart rate column which will give us the average heart rate of that patient for the given day. So this is the sample input table that we are having, and in the table that we have created in SSMS we have additional rows as well. So these are not the complete table that we are seeing here, but instead we will have additional row in the table which we have already created in SSMS. Now we will go and see the expected output as well. So this is the expected output that we are going to obtain. So if we are writing the correct query, it should return patient ID equal 3 as the high risk patient. So patient ID 1 and patient ID 2 does not satisfy the condition for high risk patient, and we are not going to consider them as high risk patient. Instead, we should be getting the final output as patient ID 3, and 3 will be considered as a high risk patient. Now this is the explanation which is given to each patient which is available in the given table, and we will see the explanation when we write the query and when we get the final result. Now let us go to SSMS and see how we can obtain the output. So we will start with a select clause. So here is the patient activity table that we saw in the question, which has got the 4 column which we mentioned in the question. And now going down, we can see that there are additional record for a given patient. That is, we have additional patient which is patient ID 3. Now we will start writing query for the same. So we will start with the same select clause. Instead of star, we will make use of the column names. So the first column that we require is patient ID. Second column that we require is on date, on underscore date. The third column that we require is steps. Fourth column will be heart rate. Now we have to find the average heart rate over the past 7 days for a particular patient. So this is where the tricky part of this question is. So the first expression will be average, average of open and close parenthesis, and we want the average of heart rate. So will be heart underscore rate, which will give us the average heart rate. Now we have to write an overclose over open and close parenthesis. Now inside the overclose we have to write the partition. Now in the question it's obvious that the partition will be based on patient ID. So partition by patient underscore ID, and now we have to write an order by clause, order by, and in the order by clause only we are going to make a slight change. Now instead of specifying the column name only, here we will make use of the frame clause in SQL. So for that, after order by, we will have to specify the column name first. So column name will be on date, which will be in ascending order, and now we have to write the frame clause. So frame clause will start with rows between 6 preceding and current row. And this is the frame clause that we are going to write here, rows between 6 preceding row and the current row, which means current row and additional 6 row preceding that particular current row, which in total will be 7 rows, and the order by clause will be based on date. Now this will give us the average hurt rate over the past 7 days. So we will give the column name as average hurt rate past 7 days. So this will be the column name, and we have identified the average hurt rate over the past 7 days for a particular patient. Now we will write the second query, which will give us the average steps over the past 7 days. So that is the second condition. For that, we will copy the same expression, and only one change we have to make here. So we will copy the same expression, paste it here. Now instead of average hurt rate, we have to find the average steps, and the column name also will be different. So average steps over the past 7 days. Now execute this and we will get two additional column, which will give us average hurt rate over the past 7 days and average steps over the past 7 days. Execute this and we have the two additional columns. Now we will consider this query as a CTE. So with patient underscore detail as open and close parenthesis, and entire query will be inside the parenthesis. And now we will write a select clause on the CTE from select star from patient detail. So this is the table name. Now from here we have to write the where clause such that we have to only get patient for which average hurt rate should be greater than 100 and average steps for the past 7 days should be less than 4000. So for that we will write two where clause here, where copy the column name from the CTE. So average hurt rate over the past 7 days should be greater than 100, and next condition will be average steps over the past 7 days should be less than 4000, less than 4000. Now in the final result we only require patient ID, patient underscore ID, and we will write a distinct because otherwise we will have multiple columns with the same patient ID. Distinct, and now execute and we will get the patient ID only for which the condition is satisfied. Execute and we should be getting patient ID 3, and this was the expected output that we were trying to obtain. Now let us go back to the initial expected output and see what is the explanation given. So this is the explanation given, which tells us patient 1 has an average hurt rate close to 100 and low steps but does not meet the high risk criteria consistently, because when we take it over a period of 7 days it is not consistently met. Now coming to patient 2, patient 2 has a low hurt rate and more steps, so they are not obviously part of high risk patient. Now coming to patient 3, patient 3 has a average hurt rate over 100, means which is greater than 100, and consistently low steps under 4000. It is not 5000, it is 4000. So making the patient a high risk patient. So we will make this 5000 4000 because we were considering the query to give us output based on condition 4000. So we obtain the expected output, which is patient ID 3. This is one method of solving the query using frame clause. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more. Thank you.